Welcome back to the playground and welcome to episode 8 at this amazing location where we're building some seriously dope trails, aren't we? In the last video, we made that sort of just over 90-degree right hip. It's almost a quarter pipe. This huge mega roller, great big slab, enormous piece. Reminds me of Jono in its size. And then we've got the wedge, which we've given a spruce up too, so that's looking better than ever. The whole line's looking better than ever. The ground is tough. So in this video, as promised, the split line doesn't exist yet because we've extended the trails up to a 4th feature. It's a par 4 golf course now. And I'm going to split here as promised. And I've decided I'm going to do the big swing round berm, which isn't an anti-climax. I know we've built a berm. This one's going to be very different. This is almost a bowl. It's going to feel like you're changing direction, riding up and out of a cereal bowl. It's going to be seriously cool. And it uses this kind of lump perfectly. If this wasn't here, it would take a marathon amount of dirt to build this berm, and it might not actually look that cool or have the right shape, and certainly it wouldn't have the hard foundations that this offers. We're only going to have to add a little bit of dirt to build this entire thing. And then at the end of the berm, because I want to finish higher than where I took off, it's like a reverse helter-skelter, isn't it? You're going to spiral up like this kind of half helix thing, and then I want to drop out of it, which is going to be a good use of those turf blocks potentially. If they are tough enough, we can make a little block landing. So it's kind of I think if there's enough speed, there'll be a little step down out of this berm. So that's the first build. The second build I want to do is try and realise this split line by bringing them back together, and that means adding to the hip. So I mean, this is the main straight. It's so sick. Look up there. Yeah, it blows my mind what we've done. It's so sick. But I want to land this hip, and if you saw the last video, my tyre marks often kind of went off at an angle and I was running wide on this landing. So initially I thought about putting another one of those cambered rollers, one of those boobs, but I think it's not going to actually turn you. We want to go that way. So I'm going to build a berm here that uses this lump by coming up and into a roller on the exit. So you can use the berm, the corner, to turn back down the hill, and the pump on the exit will add speed. So we've kind of got two builds. We're adding to this line, we're creating the split line. But let me just show you how we're going to do this. Oh, by the way, we've had a busy morning using the digger and dumper. We've been flat out on huge runs all the way around. It's like over 1 kilometre to do a drop. I got the record time of 4 minutes 52 for a round trip, but that's actually like almost hitting trees, 3rd gear, bouncing out the seat. It was quite funny. We've got a loads here, and that just screams jumps, doesn't it? What better thing than to have fresh primo dirt right where we need it? And I don't know, that looks like a pump track to me, who knows? So this berm, it's about to be the weekend. I haven't managed to convince Ben or Jamie to come down, so it's going to be me on my own building this corner. And if you've noticed this little rig, this is perfect. So I'm going to try and get a continuous perfect circle using this rope as the radius and this spray can. This is where I'm going to build it.
This is actually going quite well so far.
What do you think to that?
That's really good.
What do you think of that, sports fans? Hey? If trail building or mountain biking doesn't go to plan, I can always draw the penalty circle, can't I? Is there a circle?
Spot.
Is it round?
Spot, yeah.
Yeah, that spot, yeah, there we go. Look at that. So I think if that's the centre line of the corner, I want to leave grass on the inside and the outside and make kind of like the sides of that wooden kicker, just make a kind of banana bit of dirt all the way around that you rail, and it'll be hard pack hopefully. If it's anything like this ground, you'll rip round there, wind your way out of the cereal bowl, drop back, then you get to thread the needle through there, and who knows what we'll do. We're getting closer to episode 10 where we want to do loads of mega riding, mega building. I feel like we're rounding out this first epic course already in episode 8. So without further ado, you two can go home, get on with your very merry weekend. I'll be turf cutting. Build laps. My knee. It went drastically wrong. Didn't even explode. Oh. Thanks. Oh. What an insane build lapse. That was again a 3-day build. I don't know how much longer, well this year anyway, I'm going to be able to just keep doing 3-day build lapses that are less than 3 minutes. But that's time fast forwarded, isn't it? But look what we've done. This is probably the one I'm most proud of. Essentially we've added what's got to be 50, 60 foot of trail, that's 20 meters Ben, to the entire place. And finally kind of building creative looking technical things that don't take diggers and thousands of wheelbarrows, even though I think that one was 100. The berm was 60. Look what we've done. We've built an incredible berm. This is sick. From all angles, it's the best thing ever. I love that it's not that big. I mean, it's huge, but with the speed, it's gonna feel really tight. It's gonna be an obscenely G-out berm. The compression around there will be heavy, and I like that. That's why it's almost vertical. It doesn't need to be that tall. Your tyres are only 2 inches wide. Why does a berm need to be more than 2 foot? He says before my front wheel comes out the top of it and I lose all my teeth. I almost lost my knee there on the explosion. Yeah, we've absolutely smashed this one. I love, the place has kind of gone from being 2D, right? This big long straight line to 3D, and I think that's why now aesthetically it's such a spectacle. It's way more impressive to look at because there's so much going on. And finally, one thing I love about trails is that they branch off, they split, they come together. That's exactly what happens after the wedge. We've got this split line where the berm's going to wrap round. And by the way, we're going to have another build lapse in a minute, and I'm going to test ride this all in this video. It's a mega one. We're going to add a landing after the berm, which is shared by that little step down. So let me show you what's new. By the way, that's now called the Slice. Really cool name. I've learned so much about golf during this build, but I'm also keen to move on to another line and probably change the theme, because I don't need all that information in my brain about a sport I don't do. It's been probably 10 years since I swung a golf cue and I'm not that interested in it. So this is the Slice, which apparently is, well, there's been some debate. See, this is how much of an expert I am. Technically that's a fade. If you deliberately send a golf ball to the right, it's a fade, and left is a draw. So we've kind of got a draw into a fade. Slice just sounds better. Slice is when I think you mess it up. Just sounds better, see? Oh, and if there's a 90-degree corner in a golf course hole, it's called a dog leg, but it could have been called that too. We'll go with the Slice, the incorrect one. This is rad. It was my intention to build a berm with a roller on the exit, but it's more of a berm on the top and another kind of one of those cambered rollers on the bottom. It's just beautiful. From behind it's massive, and it really was a lot of work. This was a whole big day with me and Jamie. I'm really excited to ride it. It doesn't really do anything other than what it says on the tin. You just ride round it, but doesn't it look cool? And then up here, this was a bit of a treat, building things that were like 10 wheelbarrows each, 10, 12 barrows per roller. We still had to do a lot of turf cutting, and you can see now we've got so many of these like Aztec burial ground marker things, or it's a strange looking place. I think if aliens came out of space and saw this, they'd wondered what on earth mankind's been up to, but actually it's just our small little build team that have lost our minds. I hope they're going to come together perfectly and share a landing. The problem is we're going to build that landing now, and I don't know how much speed all this is going to offer because it's very uphill, but you can pump that berm, you can pump these rollers. I'm sure given the drop in elevation, if I put a landing about here, we'll be able to share them both. So this split line will come all the way around, join back together. I'm going to call that the birdie berm, because a birdie is where you do it in one less than the par, right?
Yep.
So that is a shortcut, it's one less jump. Hey,
Hey.
expert. And then I'm actually going to add one other thing. We're about to see out the entire line, by the way, before we build a new one. Let's go landing and then build a really steep banked wall on the side of this, which will please all the OCD viewers because the other side's more slack, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll kind of even it up. So you can land out of both lines, bang into the wedge, round the corner, and then just roll off up the hill. The reason I want to end it here is because all of that space I don't want to obstruct. I'm going to save it for the next line, the next line, the next line. So by tomorrow we'll have finished this entire line, and that will mark an exact 4 weeks of digging here, and we've built all of this and a bridge.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. What's
Wow.
a year? What's 2 years going to look like? This place is going to be obscene. So yeah, I'm buzzing. My arms are heavy, but it makes sense because they're massive. So let's go into another build lapse, and get all this finished, and then we're going to ride it. Here we go. Well, I suppose that completes the split line and the entire digging process for this one episode. I can't believe how much we've done for one video, and we're doing 2 videos a week. But we've enhanced this whole place so much by adding that 3D multi-directional thing that stops it being like an arrow through the fairway to heaven, and now it's this complex set of trails. And I've got to do some testing now. I must say, I'm knackered. We're really tired, like forearms from the wheelbarrows are so pumped. So right, Ben was going to ride, he's now not going to ride. We're going to save proper riding for the next video because we're not actually that, I'm desperate to try the jumps and enjoy them, but we're actually not that motivated. We're so wrecked. This is the new landing. It may be small, but it is mighty. It was actually 21 wheelbarrows, which is such a small landing, it still takes ages. And I think it's enough, isn't it? It's in the right place to hopefully exit the berm and land on it. Although the step down from back there appears quite a long distance, but you get more fall, so let's see. That is quite far, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good 10, probably a good 10, 11 foot gap. I don't want to case that today, I'll give up and sleep here. And then this is the wave, which I really like. It didn't need to be any bigger than that. I'm pretty sure it's packed in hard because I've only had to compress a few inches of dirt onto something that was already like concrete. But let's see if the wave adheres to the wedge or if it wants to like come away. I don't know, time will tell. But I'm really into this. This is, for me, like I say, we've finished the split line. I think, personally, we've finished this entire set of trails in 8 episodes. I think it's done. I like the idea of just rolling back along the grass and walking back up there. I don't want to cut down the hill and block all the potential lines for the rest of this series. So I think we've done it. Do you think?
Yeah.
So episode 9, which is the next one, we'll have a mega session, like big session, because a lot of people have been asking about tricks, actually, saying, why do you not kind of do the tricks we know you can do? I've done a backflip, a 360 and a bar spin. And the answer is, when you dig for 3 days for 12 hours a day and then pick your bike up to test the feature, we end up just going, oh, let's just test it works and move on. And I'm desperate for that big session, so I think we'll do that in the next video. I've got an idea and I want to run it past everyone watching, and that's to do with water. So like, this is what the dirt looks like when it's dry. And it is dry and it's like concrete, it's superb. This is what it looks like when it's been wet, like watered and shaped. We did all this yesterday morning, and then in between you can kind of see where the moisture is evaporating out of it. So that's rock hard, that's probably a bit softer. So it's a bit early to ride, I'm just going to do a test run. Water here is a big problem. I've been bringing those 25 litre kind of jug drums here every day, and now we've got so many jumps, walking around with a watering can, you can't physically bring enough water to the jumps to water them all. That's going to become an issue. There's no running water here. We've got that 1,000 litre tank, but it's all the way at the top. Does anyone know about petrol powered water pumps? If I was to bring the IBC down here, can those little petrol pumps, are they powerful enough to actually run a hose, or are they just to like move water from one bucket to another? Can you get a hose, stand here and spray everything? I'm interested to know, because if you can, I'll buy one. But the reason I'm stood here is, wouldn't it be cool in this space here to match kind of the shape of all the jumps to make a little pond? Don't you think? We could even have fish in it. And then we can harvest water when it rains, because right now it'll all just soak up and be lost. So that would be smart, wouldn't it? We could even make a complex gutter system. I might make a pond, but it'd mean digging more clay by hand.
Yuck.
But we get a pond. Call it a pool. Call it a swimming pool. Anyway, I'm kind of deferring the inevitable. So let's ride. I'm going to start off. I've already jumped the slice, so let's do this. Oh, that means doing a step down. What would you do? I might do the berm.
I'll do the berm first.
Let's do the berm. We've got 2 lines to test. There's a lot to test. Let's do it. How sick's that going to look? I think it's going to be mega G-forces, and I don't know if my body's ready for that. I've not come up here for 3 days, and it looks so different now. Not to sound like a broken record, but I'm really sore. Coming! Oh, case, I'm going to keep going. Yes. Whoa! Oh! It's rapid!
That was sick!
It's well fast, it's really fast actually.
That worked well.
Do you know what? I thought I was going to be leant over completely sideways, battling G-force, but you actually just climb it. It's amazing. It feels like you could just keep going up into
It
the
looked
heavens.
effortless, mate. Well done.
That's a shame. That's a big shame. Usually where I'd go, Jamie, he's on holiday. So I actually need to kind of keep going up and then drop down, don't I? That would make more sense to be bigger, wouldn't it? But then you'd never get there from the takeoff. Or would you ever get into the dirt wave? Let me ride it as it's built. That's a shame. Look, that's blown out that corner.
Oh yeah.
Attempt 2. I want to ride that wave. Yes! And you roll all the way back.
Yes!
Oh wow, it feels, look where I rolled to. There's hardly any walking to just lap it. Let me go and do another lap. Woohoo! That felt like a proper roller coaster.
Mate!
Yeah!
Oh, that is so sick. You almost got taken out by that tree.
Yeah. Tell them I didn't pat any of this in. It shows, look, that landing's wrecked. Should we try that line now?
Yeah, you should.
Because this one's a delight to ride.
Go on, get back up there, boy.
And I'm not even doing tricks. Imagine doing like a banger. You're stoked, then you just get to ride the helter-skelter all the way back, back to the top. So now I'm going to go the long way round. This side could be the one that's soft and slow and needs time. No way! Oh, I'm buzzing about that! No way! Oh, I'm
Yes!
yeah!
That was sick.
Oh, it's such a good feeling.
Oh, mate.
I was actually nervous, which is bizarre because it's not exactly massive jumps. Oh, I'm so happy we just get to move on because that's been a massive project this episode.
So sick.
I landed perfect. Honestly, couldn't have got it better.
No, that was
I'm
perfect.
proud to say. That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Loads and loads and loads of fun, yeah.
It looked kind of slow midway through, but then you picked speed back up weirdly.
If the ground's even running 5% slow,
Yeah.
it's a long distance to lose speed over.
Yeah.
It will speed up, all of this has. Do you remember when we first rode the wedge?
Yeah.
I cased it first two runs, didn't I?
Yeah.
Now, like, there's no case in it. You can go so high, you go to the moon on it. You've never even ridden that roller or the hip or...
No, I'm buzzing
It's
to.
like a whole new bike park for you to set. Let me do one more.
Yeah.
It's really good. So sick. Final lap. Whoa! Whoa!
Yes.
Oh my God! We don't need that. I actually pulled really hard, like a 180 then.
That was hectic. It looked cool.
And on that no-hander flip, my bike started to move away from me.
Really.
I'm really under practice. I've not done any tricks in 6 weeks, have I? Starting to show. Like professional mountain biker who doesn't ride. Let me get it once more, Ben, sorry.
Get it?
And at the top I said final lap, which you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Ben, one final lap.
Yes.
Yeah! Yes! Yes! It feels the best! There's so much biking to be done on one line. We've actually smashed it. I hope people watching kind of get a slight grasp of how rewarding that is. We've dug pretty much every day. Today's 27 days on site. We've built an entire line, which is a huge win, but the fact that it works and it works so well is everything. Should we, next episode, shall I bring the Nomad here?
Yeah.
We'll play around with that and let's just all of us ride and actually benefit from the fruits of our labour and session this place, because just then I kind of had an itch to back put the step down. There's loads of cool stuff to be done. You need to ride that hip.
Yeah.
You spin to the left, that's going to look cool and interesting. I want to trick that drop. I want to rail this berm faster. I want to do some proper tricks on this thing. I went really high then, but I did actually
really
pace a
high.
little bit, didn't I? Yeah, and then I might just build a pond. Yeah, which isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, I think. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's been part of like the 8 episodes so far. Obviously there's a lot more to come, but for me this feels like a huge milestone and actually a bit of an accolade to have built such a cool but complex set of trails at the start of such an ongoing series. I'm buzzing. If you don't subscribe, it'd be awesome if you hit the button, please. It's quite easy to do. We're the ones working hard here. If you'd do that for us, then it'd be appreciated. There we are. I guess we'll see you in the next one, which is going to be more petrol fueled and biking fueled and less forearm fueled. Legends.
Fantastically wrong.